Legendary. Legendary.
Welcome to your boy channel, Legendary, man. You already know we racking. Alright, back with the spec test videos. Now I'm actually recording this after a rogue video that I did, so this is going to go up before that rogue video. And as you can see, we're in TBC, so we need a new setting. Okay? The only reason why we really need a new setting was because it would not stop raining in Gurabashi Park Arena. I was going to say Gurabashi Park for some reason. And today's video is all about warriors. Okay? All my warrior builds. Now I'm doing all warriors in one video because I have in this time as of TBC I have less warriors. As modern Warcraft, I have too many warriors. So we got Raimundo and Toonami, who are arms. We have Sand Pyro and Tyranny, who are fury, and we have Genghis Khan, who is protection. Now at this point in time, a couple of other warriors I have now didn't quite exist, so we're not going to be really paying attention to them. Not yet, anyways. I didn't start doing the whole dagger warrior thing till like Cataclysm, so that character, we're not going to add her into this unless I decide to get me a Cataclysm server. But right now we're focusing on the OGs, you know what I'm saying? So, let's get into it. Starting off with the first arms warrior, we have Raimundo. Raimundo is much like Jadam. I play her a lot like Jadam, just a warrior. She's a defense build warrior. Now, a lot might be like, what on earth is a defense build warrior? Well, a defense build warrior is a warrior I could build, arms warrior I could build as much defense on as possible without being a protection warrior and still having that crushing warrior damage. You know, anticipation, tactical mastery, kind of typical stuff. A little bit of fury, nothing too crazy. But instead of going with a specific weapon type, I just went all out on damage. So she has no sword specialization, she has no mace specialization, she has no axe, no none of that. I just wanted as much damage as I could get on her without sacrificing the specialization, which is 5 talent points. Now, a lot of people, I'll say this, a lot of people are like, oh, you should always have the specialization. That's cool, but you know, these are specs that I build for me and that I use. These aren't really up for debate or change or nothing. These are specs that work for me, so I will give that forewarning now, because the last time I did one of these, nobody listened to anything, any of the warnings I gave. These are specs I build for me. I'm not showing you a spec for you unless that's what you want. If you want this spec, go ahead, but I'm not showing you this spec. Oh, this is the best spec. No. This is a spec that I use because I enjoy it. Alright? Now that you guys understand, let's move on. Now, the reason I did Raimundo the way I did was because I wanted her to have some versatility, mostly out of just showboating, to be able to switch to any weapon I wanted to and efficiently use it. Or just those cases of times where I wasn't very good at making money back in the day. So the best thing I could do was ignore the specializations so I could use any weapon I want when I got something better. So that allowed me to save my money. Her build is pretty much like you would think, high damage type of thing. Nothing too crazy, you know, warrior stuff. Now, I'm not going to be having defensive stance any built special because we're not going to really need that, as there's no one attacking us. This is just pretty much damage testing. Another thing I was letting people know, but somehow they still ignored the signs. So let's get Genghis back over there, actually, because he's still our target dummy. We're just going to be adding him to the video because he's our warrior as well. Now, her build is pretty much the same as Toonami's, except Toonami has mace specialization. He is the Storm Herald, as many of y'all know. There's the mace. You know, she's a warrior. I mean, there's not really anything crazy I can show you. She's a warrior. You know, a typical charging. It's just a lot of people be popping records. You know what I'm saying? You know, she's a warrior. I mean, I don't really know what to really tell you. Nothing crazy, wild about her.
Not ready yet.
She's a warrior. Simple as that. Heavy damage, typical, you know, as a warrior should have. If you don't have heavy damage as a warrior, what you doing, baby? You know what I'm saying? Now, they're not going to have their buffs and all that you would normally have. Also, they're not enchanted. So if you're wondering, where's the enchants? I don't have that yet. I have to make a enchantment bot that will allow me to enchant my characters. So as you can see, her damage is about as normal as you would see any warrior at this level of damage. You know, of course you would put on a heroic shout. I don't know any warrior who goes into battle without it, like I just did just now. Yeah, she's a warrior. I mean, there's nothing crazy I can show you outside of just showing you the talents themselves, which is another thing people didn't realize. People thought they were going to be hopping into a video and seeing like actual PvP. Well, if you know a good TBC server, let your boy know, because the one I used to play on died many years ago. Smolder Forge. I used to. Oh man, I was on that server dang near every day. But yeah, that's her build. That's the talents. If you like what you see, use it. If you don't, cool. Keep it pushing. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people were getting upset that I was, oh, this isn't the best. I never said it was. I'm simply saying, if you would have read the title, this is the build that I like to use. Okay? It's not going to be the best. I don't look to be the best. I look to just crush whoever the frick is in my way. If that means I become the best, then so be it. But I'm not looking to be the best. I'm not out here trying to, oh, I'm the greatest rogue of all time. I'm the greatest warrior. Nah, baby. I'm just playing the game, crushing whoever get in my way, pretty much.
I can't. Not ready yet.
That was much better. Much better.
I can't do that yet.
Look at that. I did right this time. I forgot what's the name last time. Those are the numbers we're supposed to be seeing. I messed up the first time. I didn't put on a battle shout. I forgot Death Wish. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing more I can show you. She's a warrior. She is an arms warrior. Vicious damage arms warriors have always done. You know what I'm saying? Nothing wild, nothing crazy about her build like the rogues. Now, I am going to be doing some more mythical builds, so keep an eye out on those, because a lot of people were like, yo, you got to do some more mythical builds, man. Those mythical builds are crazy. I did a two-hand rogue, dual-wield shaman, if the shaman got the dual-wield in vanilla. I did a two-hand rogue, what if the two rogues could use two hands in vanilla. A lot of crazy stuff like that. So, let's move on to the next. Next, we have Sand Pyro. Now, a lot of you won't know, but Sand Pyro is a character I created back in Cataclysm who was a two-hand dual-wielder. But because I have been using this dual-wield spec for a very long time, I needed someone to don this build, and I figured that should be her. So, you know, typical tactical mastery. We got Fury, you know, Piercing Howl. You know, the typical stuff. Nothing too crazy. You know, stuff that'll make you very strong for PvP. Arm side. I have seemed to forgotten to put recklessness down, so let's go ahead and do that. Now, this dual wield build is pretty much the Garanus of Fury Warriors. Stupendous levels of attack power. 1600. Put that on. Okay, take combat or get combat, clear your cooldowns and all that. Just straight up the rawest level of damage I could possibly think of. I've been using this builds mostly for vanilla private servers, but with revamped with TBC stuff added. This is pretty much my go-to dual-wield Fury build. So, let me demonstrate to y'all. You know, typical warrior. I'm messing up, bro. Talking about typical Fury, but I moved. But you can see the damage there just off of regular swinging. Stupendous levels.
I can't do that.
The haste is through the thing. A little bit of cleave.
I can't do
Holy!
Now I'm about to go quick. Trey, give me your energy, nigga.
That fucking madness, my dude. As y'all can see, I mean, there's nothing else to be said. Absolutely deadly. Okay? Stupendous, man. I mean, that's the shortest, sweetest way I could put it. Just ridiculous. Now, I'm about to die. Now, this build is a slight play off of Tyranny's build, who was a two-hander. But instead of going for two-hander, we go for dual-wield, of course, because we got that dual-wield. Ignore slam, because who the fuck gonna be casting while you trying to fight? You know what I mean? Berserker Rage is cool, but you know, I didn't care for it. I didn't go for it. You know, obviously flurry, all that heat, all the heat, man. Impale. Okay. He's not being touched for some reason. Now let's do this the proper way this time. I messed up the first time. I forgot I didn't have all my crap down. Simply a build that I made to be as strong as I could possibly make a Fury Warrior be. Because one thing, if y'all don't know, is I build all my specs. I don't watch anybody to build specs, because the problem with that is when you have to learn off of somebody else's spec, then it just takes more time, and it's a lot of times it's harder to learn. But when you're choosing your own thing, you're building your own thing, you begin to learn, and you don't exactly need anybody's help anymore, which to me is better, because now you're building your own crap without having to constantly look up, oh, is this good, or something better, is there anything better? None of that. You're doing it all on your own, leaving it like that. Which to me is so much better than constantly having to look up other people's builds to figure out what's good, and say if that's good, is this person's spec actually as good as they said it was. I just realized I was facing forward. Yeah.
That ability isn't ready yet. I'm not ready yet. I can't do that yet.
Decent damage even on a dang protection paladin. Yeah, how long, bro? So I mean, there's really not much else I could show. I mean, if that doesn't prove it, what the frick else could possibly? The damage is stupid, and none of these characters are enchanted. Like I said, they're not even enchanted yet. I think she's gemmed. She better be gemmed. Okay, yeah, she's gemmed. So, yeah, I mean, ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Let's move on to the next. Alright, next in line we got the big boy himself, the one and only, the conqueror of worlds, the world conqueror, the man, the myth, the legend, Tyranny, the one who soloed Sunwell during the Wrath Lynch King pre-patch. Yes sir, that is him, truly the big nice guy? Anyways, he is an absolute powerhouse, as you would expect. Look at the muscle. Look at the crit. Look at the armor. Absolutely the hustle king of PvP. The brutal gladiator of PvE. The destroyer. Okay? Let's go ahead and take a look at his build. This is a two-hand Fury build. You know what I'm saying? Impale, you know, all your typical iron will. Shrug off the bull crap, you know what I'm saying? I ain't got time to be getting stunned. Who got time to get stunned? I know I don't. Alright, same stuff, but instead we got Berserker Rage actually on this one. Very important. After all, you're using a two-handed Fury, which means sometimes the Rage build can be lackluster if you make a mistake. Let me show y'all. what the damage is like on a two-hand warrior build. I just murdered myself pretty much. What the two-hand build is capable of. Well, my two-hand build, that is. Like I said, these builds are not up for debate. These are literally builds that I made for myself. Okay? I'm not telling you that this is the best. I'm simply telling you what I enjoy. Alright? It's as simple as that. So, typical warrior actions as a Tauren. Stun all these busters. Don't let them move. Boom! Boom!
Not enough rage.
Absolute devastation on another level. Okay? Remember, if you're paying attention, recklessness came off a long dang time ago, yet he's still hitting. And I didn't even put what's on. I forgot about the shout. I forgot. Look at that, 2,600 attacks. I was about to say horsepower. I was watching a lot of car videos before I recorded this. Even on a big boy with a whole lot of tanking gear, a whole lot of armor, still some pretty dang good damage. No one's truly ever going to bring down Genghis's health in a mannerly time, though. Let's be real here, it's just not going to happen. So we're just really testing the speed, because that's what it mainly is with the warrior. Now, the cons of the two-hand Fury, unlike single-hand Fury, the regeneration, the rage regeneration isn't nearly as good as single Fury. Two-hander, you have to be very wary of how much rage you're building out. Because if you're not, you'll be easily out DPS'd by an arms warrior. But if you manage everything properly and do what you're supposed to, you can easily out damage an arms warrior. Is an arms warrior more efficient and the smarter way to go? Most likely. Fury is kind of a mystical build. You can go for it and you could do it and it might work, but it will be a lot easier to just go arms. But sometimes, people don't want easier sometimes. Sometimes people want harder. And this is definitely the spec. This is the spec that's going to give you what you want. Something like an arms warrior, something like a fury warrior. You're kind of an in-betweener. Absolute destroyer. I didn't fix my cooldowns, did I? Hold up. Let me do that one more time. Okay. Like I said, you're something like a something. I mixed that up again. Whatever, yo. As you can see, because of my mess up, no rage. Now we have to wait because I goofed. Now, if I wouldn't have goofed, the rage would have been through the roof. Let's say what's the name's ready to go. Okay? Absolute destroyer. Stupendous. Absolutely ridiculous. We might actually put him out of here, bro. So, if you don't make the mistake like I did in the beginning, rage will be fine. I should have hit blood rage after Berserker stance, but it's been a long time since I've done some stance, alright, so get off my back. I ain't got my keybind set. So I'm over here clicking. I haven't done this much clicking in a long time, so that is pretty much it. So, I mean, there's not much to show you with Toonami. He is a arms warrior, just like Raimundo, but he is a stun build. He's a mace stun build. So I guess we can attempt to get a couple of mace stuns and see what that looks like. So, let's do that. Next up, we have the Storm Herald, okay? The Storm Herald, Toonami, is a vicious man. He is the Storm Herald. He is the one who calls the storms to stun his enemies and keep them right where he needs them. Tactical mastery, which is something also Tyranny does not have, which is why you have to be very efficient. You know, a little bit of fury. And your arms build. He is mace. Some stuff you will be ignoring. Why? Because he is the Storm Herald. And some of that stuff you don't quite need. Now let me show you exactly what the Storm Herald is about. He is a warrior, like any other warrior. I did it again. He's a warrior like any other warrior, but he is the Storm Herald. Once you get your hands on this mace, you are no longer Toonami. Let's say your character is Mr. Crusher. Let's say your character is Arms Lord. I don't freaking know what y'all be naming y'all characters. Once you get your hands on this mace, you are no longer Arms Lord and Crusher and Beefsteak and whatever the heck you name your character. You are now the Storm Herald. Okay? His name ain't Toonami. Okay? That's what you see. He's now the Storm Herald. Okay? Why? Because the Storm Herald is one of the most incredible mace to ever be added to this game. Look at that. Mace done already.
I can't do that yet.
Absolute destroyer with the mace that can give a stun so vicious you'll never recover. Look at that. Stunned. Stunned again.
It's too far away.
Come on, baby.
I can't do that.
With this hammer, you are no longer the big man, the crusher, the breaker, whatever your character's name is. You're the Storm Herald now.
Not enough rage.
And when that mace stun hits, it's holding the buster down for 4 seconds. When that mace stun hits, it's holding the buster down for 3 seconds and gives you an extra 7 rage when it does. It's the most ridiculous combination in the history of combinations. And I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. Oh, there goes. The stun effects on my server are actually low, and we're still seeing it pop a lot. So who knows what it's going to be on the actual Blizzard, because back in the day it was pretty high. The mace stun effect was not that low. Mine's only is because some stuff on my server ain't 100%.
Need more rage.
Okay? No different from Raimundo though. Builds are pretty much the same. I mean, he's arms. How much further in arms can you get outside of arms? You know? But this mace with the stun effect. Absolutely ridiculous. And you know what's crazy about that? I didn't even get this idea from what the heck? I didn't even get this idea from TBC. I actually got it from Vanilla. You remember those two little mace that had stun effects on them? That you got from one of these dungeons? That's where I got it from. A dual-wield arms build I was making. It was absolutely janky, but the mace spec was so amazing. It could have actually worked had I geared that character out. So, but, you know, that's it for Toonami. Let's hit up Genghis Khan, shall we? Next we have the Titan himself. The one and only. The Shield Wall. Genghis Khan. This man is a destroyer for many reasons. Why? Well, one, he's got 13.3 unbuffed. Number two, lots of crit. Lots of damage. 1734. 18,000 armor. Okay? Defense, pretty high. Dodge, a little bit of block. A lot of resilience, though. A lot of resilience. This man's a Titan, okay? A destroyer of many. Okay? Immune to melee. You simply, as melee, you just simply can't kill this man. It's as simple as that. He just eats too much. Okay? And like any warrior, he works for domination. Okay? You go in, you rush in, you pop all your buffs, and you just start hitting crap. Does he have the greatest rage build ever? Nah. Could be better. I mean, that comes with the protection. You know what I'm saying? You don't get to be super tough murder mean. Alright? But, you know, as you can see, pretty dang strong for a protection warrior. You don't just get 1700 attack power. I was about to say horsepower again. 2000 actually. You know what I'm saying? Imagine you sitting here trying to heal your group, and the stupid protection warrior pop up out of nowhere, smacking the goofy out with some severe levels of damage that you've never seen a protection warrior do. Look at that. And of course, you got his defenses. You know what I'm saying? Can't forget your interrupts. So if a fool got the nerve to try to heal. Let me show you the spec one more time. Okay. A little bit of fury. All protection. That's a protection warrior right there, baby. Obviously no devastate because 50% weapon damage is not that great. Not that great at all. Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna keep it as simple as that for him because, I mean, it's about as obvious as you could possibly think. You just simply cannot touch this man. You know what I'm saying? Let me show y'all exactly what I'm talking about. If we get into a toe-to-toe battle, what happens after a while? He starts to win. Why? Because parry. Okay, finally got a hit, but look at that two-hander, and he's going more with a one-hander. He's bound to leave you in the dust after a while. Now, of course, I'm not saying he's invincible, because if you know what you're doing, of course, you could easily beat a protection warrior, because they have very little to truly defend themselves from the hardest of the hard. Because let's do a little math here. He's only going to last so long. He is a protection warrior. And they're really not that far from each other. Anybody who can really count percentages well would know that he's actually not winning. Raimundo's winning. But if we're talking about popping buffs, doing what you're supposed to do, he has the better defense. All he gotta do is put on the what's the name, snatch your weapon. She just dodged. I probably should have used Toonami as less defense. And this right here, though his build is impeccable, is why the common man will go with arms or fury. Because if you don't know what you're doing, you can't get that big boy damage.
Not good. Can't do that yet.
See that? And then you get to use shield bash as many times as you want. Really, defensive mode is going to be your friend too. But even then, though, is it worth playing a protection warrior over arms in Fury? Nah, but protection is a lot of fun. I can't lie. Protection is a lot of fun.
Not good.
But the what's the name keep going up? Oh, she's arms. I forgot about that. That's why she winning. Every time he crit her, she heals. Oh no, stun. Ah, dang, I forgot about that. Anyways, I think that's it though. You know, these are the specs I like to play. These are the specs that have gotten me very far in the PvP world on many different private servers. These are the same builds I've been using for, shoot, who freaking knows how long. Probably since like Cataclysm. So, hey, if you ever want to try any of them out, go right ahead. I ain't stopping you. It's been your boy, Legend, man. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you didn't, not much I can say about that. If you did, go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, notification bells, all that dumb crap people be talking about. I'm out.